the shrimp that feeds billions and fuels innovation. Imagine a tiny, translucent creature cruising along muddy mangrove floors, a creature that now powers a $160 billion global industry, feeds over 1 billion people annually, and drives cutting-edge aquaculture technologies. Welcome to Agri360X, where we peel back the layers on how shrimp transformed from wild-caught mollusks into a precision-farmed protein. In this episode, we'll sail river deltas in Southeast Asia where fishermen still cast traditional nets, step into massive pond systems in Ecuador, and tour high-tech recirculating aquaculture systems, RAS, that house shrimp in temperature-controlled tanks. You'll learn why global shrimp consumption has doubled since the year 2000, how disease outbreaks once wiped out entire harvests, and how innovations in genetics, feed, and digital monitoring are revolutionizing the sector. If you're curious about the hidden forces shaping your favorite seafood, hit like, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to Agri360X, your front row seat to the future of agriculture and aquaculture. We publish Monday-Friday at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m., with weekend specials at noon. Let's dive into the world of shrimp. In this 10-part deep dive, we'll cover industry scale and economic impact, climate shocks and stock decline, fisheries, management, conflicts, gear impacts and bycatch challenges, harvesting and processing bottlenecks, multi-region sourcing strategies, sustainable fishing, innovations, packaging, traceability, and consumer trust, market dynamics and product diversification, conclusion, and call to action. Industry scale and economic impact. Alaskan king crab fisheries generate roughly $600 million in ex-vessel value each year, translating to $800 million at retail across North America, Asia, and Europe. In Alaska's coastal towns, King Cove, Kodiak, Dutch Harbor, king crab underpins local economies, employing over 15,000 fishermen, processors, and logistics workers. One male red king crab can fetch up to $20 per pound live. Processed legs command $35 to $45 per pound at restaurants. These premium prices reflect the meat's sweet, succulent flavor and cultural cachet, showcased in holiday feasts and high-end sushi bars. But this prosperity is threatened by unstable crab stocks and market volatility, where a 25% drop in landings can blow out seasonal revenue forecasts and imperil family livelihoods. Climate shocks and stock decline. King crab abundance in the eastern Bering Sea is sensitive to ocean temperature, sea ice cover, and predator-prey dynamics. NOAA surveys show a 40% decline in mature red king crab since 2015, driven by reduced sea ice habitat and food web shifts. Warmer winters shorten larval drift times and expose juveniles to predation. Meanwhile, ocean acidification impairs shell formation, making crab more vulnerable during molting. A collapse in juvenile cohorts forecasts lower commercial quotas, often slashed by 50% to allow recovery. These cuts ripple through processor schedules and export contracts, leaving empty canneries and idle boats during peak seasons. With climate models projecting further warming, the future of this fishery demands urgent attention. Fisheries management conflicts. Alaskan crab fisheries operate under federal and state quotas, set by the North Pacific Fishery Management Council, balancing harvest rates with stock sustainability. But fishers, tribal subsistence users, and environmental NGOs often clash. Commercial fleets lobby for higher quotas to cover skyrocketing fuel costs, while tribes fight to secure subsistence harvest rights, and conservationists press for more stringent caps to safeguard spawning stock biomass. Quota negotiations can drag on for months, delaying season openings and compressing the harvest window into dangerous weather months. When the season opens late, fishermen face shorter fishing periods in high seas and freezing conditions, raising accident rates and insurance costs. Resolving these conflicting interests is critical to both economic viability and ecological sustainability. Gear impacts and bycatch challenges. King crab is harvested using baited pots dropped to depths of 50 to 200 meters. Lost or abandoned pots, ghost gear, continue trapping crab and bycatch species, including cod, halibut, and sharks. Bycatch mortality can reach 5% of total catch, prompting calls for gear modifications. Biodegradable escape panels in pots allow ghost gear to disintegrate after months, while acoustic pingers warn marine mammals away. Pilot programs demonstrate a 30% reduction in bycatch with these innovations, but high gear costs and regulatory hurdles slow universal adoption. Deploying these technologies at scale is essential to minimize ecosystem impact and uphold fishery certification standards. harvesting and processing bottlenecks. After hauling pots, crews cull and bleed crab on deck, then flash freeze in block or IQF, individual quick freeze, form within 8 hours to preserve quality. Each catcher processor vessel handles 10-20,000 sows per trip. Any mechanical failure, winch breakdown or freezer malfunction, can force live crab to remain in holding tanks, risking mortality and meat degradation. On shore, canneries in Dutch Harbor and Sitka process up to 200,000 euros per day in steam cookers, grading, cleaning, and packing legs. Line stoppages due to equipment jams or labor shortages cost up to $12,000 per hour in lost throughput and discards. Improving redundancy and maintenance protocols is paramount to sustaining supply and freshness. To hedge against Bering Sea fluctuations, major seafood companies source king crab from Russia's Barents Sea and Norway's Arctic fisheries. By blending quotas across geographies, they stabilize supply, shifting purchases to Russia when U.S. landings dip by 30%. However, trade sanctions and quality differences can complicate these strategies. Wild Planet and major processors form long-term partnerships with indigenous Russian fleets to secure volumes, but geopolitical tensions threaten reliability. Optimal sourcing requires agile supply chain networks and diversified procurement, balancing economics, quality, and ethics. The future of king crab hinges on science-driven management and gear innovation. Ropeless retrieval systems use acoustic triggers and surface buoys, virtually eliminating ghost pots. Autonomous underwater vehicles map crab habitat, optimizing pot placement and boosting catch per unit effort by 25% while reducing fuel consumption. Marine Stewardship Council (MSC) certification demands rigorous data and third-party audits, helping MSC-certified crab command a 15% premium in eco-conscious markets. Blockchain-based traceability platforms record each crab's pot location, hauling date, and processing batch, allowing chefs and consumers to scan QR codes and verify provenance in seconds. These combined approaches promise a more resilient fishery. Packaging, consumer trends, and call to action. Premium king crab legs sell live or pre-cooked in bulk packs, but value-added products, imitation crab, crab cakes, and protein bars, are a growing segment valued at $50 million in 2023. Consumers demand clean labels and full sustainability credentials. Recyclable PET clamshells and minimal film buns reduce packaging weight by 20%. Everyone from supermarket seafood counters to high-end restaurants seeks MSC-certified crab. Mid-episode CTA. Which innovation, ropeless gear, blockchain traceability, or MSC certification would you champion? Comment below. Conclusion and final CTA. From icy crab pots to heated dinner plates, Alaska's king crab fishery navigates climate upheaval, management conflicts, and gear challenges with bold solutions, ensuring your winter holiday feast remains unforgettable. What surprised you most about this $800 million industry? Drop your insights below. Like if you learned something new, and subscribe to Agri 360X, airing at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. daily for more deep dives into sustainable seafood and agricultural innovation.